It is a very great privilege to be able to speak in one of the houses of the British Parliament for people who cannot speak for themselves. That I do cherish, whether as a nurse on behalf of vulnerable people in our own society, but increasingly on behalf of forgotten peoples in forgotten lands. And I established HEART about 6 years ago, having done quite a lot of work with people who were often trapped behind closed borders, who were off the radar screen and not being reached by major aid organisations. So HEART was established to provide both aid and advocacy. We're not just another aid organisation. There are good aid organisations out there, but aid and advocacy for people suffering oppression and persecution, largely neglected by the international aid organisations. Now that situation develops because the big aid organisations, the names you would all know, like the UN, the Red Cross, can only go places with the permission of a sovereign government. If a sovereign government denies access to victims within their own borders, then they cannot go. You saw that with Cyclone Nargis in Burma a little way back, when many people were suffering from that cyclone, and the regime did not give permission to the UN and the big aid organisations to reach those victims, so many died. It means we do spend quite a lot of our time crossing borders illegally and quite shamelessly, because we believe that we do have a mandate to try to reach those people who are trapped and largely unreached for political or security reasons by the major aid organisations. Our mission, as I've said, is to provide appropriate aid to those who have recently been suffering oppression and persecution. We're not an emergency relief organisation. I happen to be a founder of Merlin, Medical Emergency Relief International, which is the British equivalent of Médecins Sans Frontières, a big player in the world of international emergency relief. We're too small to make a difference there, so our focus is on victims of violations of human rights. And very briefly, our principles, the 4 interrelated A's. Authenticity. I believe passionately in the importance of going in person to be with these people trapped behind those closed borders, off the radar screen, for 2 reasons. One, to underpin the aid. These people may be living displaced in the jungle, out in the remote areas of southern Sudan with nothing. So important to go and ask them their priorities. In Sudan, just a few months ago, one of the local leaders said, why do so many aid organisations just tell us what they're going to do? Why don't they ask? We believe in giving them the dignity of choice. So we ask them their priorities. For that, you've got to be there. But also you've got to be there to underpin the advocacy. To be able to come back and say, I've been, I've seen, this is how it really is. And when I do speak in the House, I know the House listens, because I'm not just reading a Reuters press report. I've come back, and the House will often say, use our strange terminology, the noble Baroness brings information to your Lordship's House which we couldn't have in any other way. And that underpins the 4th A, the accountability, primarily accountable to those with whom we speak, that our message is authentic and accurate, but also accountable to those who support our work. They know what we've done, what they've made possible.